Hello, welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. So, if yesterday's was a pretty great start to my week, today's is one of the most disappointing follow-ups to a great listen. Today we're looking at Roger Waters' second solo album, or third if you count Music from the Body with Ron Geeson. So his second or third solo album, Radio K.A.O.S. or K.A.O.S. It's, it's musically, it's aged poorly. Lyrically, it's aged poorly. It's the final. Lyrically, it's just kind of the final cut again. I will say this: it's better than the pros and cons of hitchhiking, only because there's some variety in the melody of the songs. Because, again, the pros and cons of hitchhiking, 36 of the 42 minutes are just the same damn song over and over and over with different lyrics. So, at least on that front, there's an improvement. Eric Clapton did not return to do guitar work on this one. Mel Collins did return to do sax work. And apart from that, everybody apart from Roger himself was different. Everybody involved was different. So obviously he's left the Floyd. Again, this was released technically a couple of days before a momentary lapse of, or a couple of months before a momentary lapse of reason. But I wanted to look at momentary lapse of reason first, so I could change my shirt because I'd been wearing that wall shirt for the last 9 videos, and B, because the feel between this and momentary lapse of reason, yes, they're both firmly rooted in the 80s, they're also very different. So yeah, song number 1, Radio Waves. It's got an interesting intro, which is immediately ruined by 80s shit. Roger's voice is already starting to sound not great. He has decent moments here, but this certainly isn't one. I don't know if he needed a drink of water or if he blew out his voice doing something else before he recorded this. Either way, he sounds not great on this one. It establishes the concept. It's kind of like Tommy. It's like a deaf, dumb, and blind boy, except he communicates through radio waves. Alright. I don't know. The concept of the story and then the lyrics of the album itself don't feel like they connect at all. It's again, that's why I say it's like the final cut again. Because the final cut has this spin-off story from The Wall with the Teacher, but then most of the album's just bitching and moaning about the Gulf War. Or the Falklands War, sorry. So I don't really get it. Oh, God. Song number 2, Who Needs Information? This is more in line with Momentary Lapse of Reason. If Momentary Lapse of Reason was really firmly suited in the 80s. It's still way too 80s. It's got a decent rhythm. I don't fucking know what the lyrics are about. Again, Roger is a great lyricist, but if you don't have great music to back it up, you don't really pay attention to what he writes. I think this is about communications breaking down or something. I don't know. I don't really care. Every song on this album feels like it's 2 minutes too long, right? That's a criticism I have of the band Dire Straits. Every song they make is 2 minutes too long. Which is not something I want to say about a prog artist, but Roger can't do imaginative shit on his own musically. He needs really good musicians to back him up. His next studio album is decent because it has Jeff Beck on it. We'll get there when we get there. Song number 3, Me or Him. It's another generic 80s ballad with lyrics sung and written by Roger Waters. At this point, I had already lost the lyrics, and it's got, much like the final cut, it's more poorly aged political shit. It's the whole last 2 minutes are these samples of news broadcasts or fake samples of news broadcasts talking about Afghanistan and Reagan. I don't know, man. I know that Russia invaded Afghanistan in 79. I know that Reagan ran against Jimmy Carter, both times that Jimmy Carter ran. But like at the same time, I don't care. And what's a Brit doing talking about American shit? He does an album where he talks about American issues later on down the line, but he lived in America at that point. I don't know if he lived in America yet. So it feels really weird to have this British dude bitching and moaning about American politics. The powers that be, number 4. It would be cool if not for, if not overrun with bad 80s sounds. It's bitching about politics, but it's not saying anything that was new at the time. Like, and it almost has a guitar solo, but then Roger had more lyrics he wanted to write. Right? Like, and it doesn't, again, lyrically, it doesn't tackle anything thematically new for Roger in his career, because he's already talked about this shit on Brain Damage, and he's already talked about this shit on Animals, and, and The Final Cut. The Wall's not really a political album. Like, so it's just like, cool, Roger, yes, we know you're good at writing this shit. At the same time, you don't have the music to back this one up. So it's just, he's bitching about politicians again, which is something that he does every fucking album he makes. Oh my god. Number 5, Sunset Strip, right, yeah, this one, Roger tried and failed to write a country song. At least it's different than the rest of the album. At least I kind of recognized it was something different while it was happening. Doesn't mean it's good. It sucks. It really does. It's not good. I don't like it at all. If it came out today, I'd be like, well, it's a step higher than anything that's come out in the last 10 years, but that's not a high bar. So, it's, number 6, Home. It's like bad Final Boss music, more political shit, but finally, 6 out of 8 songs in, we get a guitar solo. It's okay. It doesn't suck. It's not Clapton level. It's nowhere near Gilmour level. It's nowhere near Jimi Hendrix level. But and it's not even Bon Jovi level in terms of spectacle. It's just kind of there, but it's okay. I'm not going to remember it, but okay, it's there. At least we get one. And then 7, 4 minutes, it's like, I don't know, like they've pressed a button and there's a nuke coming for Los Angeles, so everybody kind of has like 4 minutes to live. Alright, that's all I wrote for that one. And then song number 8, The Tide is Turning, I think it's, about, the Cold War seems to slowly be coming to an end. Alright, and then that's the album. Don't bother. Don't bother. Unless you like 80s shit, unless you wanted a momentary lapse of reason to be more political and more 80s, don't bother. Because this is not an 80s Pink Floyd album with the involvement of Roger Waters. It's just not good. It's bad. Don't bother. Personnel, you've got Graham Broad on drums, Mel Collins on sax, Annie Fairweather Lowe, and Jay Stapley on guitar. Roger obviously does bass and lyrics, and there's a million different backup singers, and I forgot the name of the dude who's playing this radio DJ. Forgot to even describe the concept of the album. I don't really care. So yeah, don't bother. Roger would tour for this album, but he was competing with his former band, and let's just say, ticket sales reflected the quality of the album. He didn't sell a whole lot of tickets, so he got his ass firmly handed to him by Pink Floyd on, the touring front. So, alright. Yeah. Thank you. Yep, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like on it. If you have something to add, please do so in the comments below. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with 2 of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will link the most recent episode of that in the description below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, or a 15-second segment at least, you can follow me on Instagram at Sean_Heastern1979. I post a 15-second segment of a song on my story there every single day. And with that, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one, which will be The Wall live in Berlin, 1990. Bye-bye.